Well, good evening. I'm James Atkinson. No, wait a minute, I'm only Adam Atkinson instead. Apparently I've got to do this commentary in CARP and Series 5, I think, was it Series 5? Series 4 instead. Yeah, this has proved to be a disaster already. I knew I should have had that gin before doing this. Yeah, right, this is quite a good title sequence actually, involving, it's quite a simple effect on Movie Maker before they fucked it up, changing it to Movie Maker Live, getting rid of all the decent software on it. Anyway, so yeah, well, that's what, I think these films are quite good in the fact that look quite professional considering I'm using the most basic editing software possible, but they also look cheap and nasty, like this scene where Stuart stood there in a pair of jeans instead of wearing a police uniform. Should have really been shot from the head up, but there you go, I'm a crap director and this is a crap film. James playing a character called Mr. Steele, which came from the Liberal Democrat Lord David Steele. It's a fact for you, not that you wanted to hear it. Right, here's the ante-room of the Brazen State Town Hall, which is just the kitchen that was in Bremen the 10 Manic. Yeah, let's just use the same sets over and over again. This is really filmmaking its worst. Fred Audis one of the main characters, and this is his, I'd say it would be his fourth appearance in the canon, yeah, after Fools Hall of Fame, Ed and Ted on Vacation, and here's Rutter, and that's the theme tune off Bernard, which is about a polar bear who got killed in every episode. It's a good series if you ever watch it on CBeebies. I was just saying the other day to the fat guy who stood there doing a crap Live People impression, that children's TV at the moment seems to have better programming on than normal TV. I mean, Will Mellis, if there's any more Will Mellis-it, because I think I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Anyway, enough about killing yourself, because I actually had a bad experience with that the other day. Anyway, this our Dutch friend in Holland, surprisingly, actually thought quite liked this scene here with me as Mr. Rutto doing a Billy Bunter accent crossed with German apparently, which is, I never really thought of it that way, but it's quite good. Rutter's basically just Victor Meldrew, and Clive People's basically a more annoying version of Michael Howard, the former Conservative leader, if that is possible. Always good joke, that. Probably that's the only thing I'm good at is slapstick. Dialogue, can't do. Acting, can't do. Directing, can't do. And as you found out now, audio commentaries, can't do. That's me replacing Stuart there, tripping over James. This is badly shot camera work and all. Most people have a show reel when they're trying to get an acting job, but I'd probably have a blooper reel to show how not to act. It's quite good, this actual camera shot. It cuts off all our heads, which is probably a good idea. Good glass sound effect. Now here's the motorcade that David Cameron's apparently been driven in a fucking Vauxhall Astra. That makes sense. Here's Jack doing one of his drunk acts, which he's quite good at. Not as good as me, of course, if you want to see Acts of Ratio 14 and see a proper drunk act. Only joking, Jack's very good at drunk acts. He's in this one, and what's the other one he's in? Series 6 he's in, from Making Fight with fucking love. With, in Smile with When Lane Drops Fall, Fred Audis drunk again. That's a wordplay joke, rare in the fact that it's quite funny. Here's David Cameron, which is just me, with a rosette on. That's clever. Right, the original script of this was going to feature... Well, when the script was written, it was the election still... 2010 election hadn't been decided yet. So, rather oddly, I had to write the script with two different outcomes in mind and casting wise. If this is David Cameron supposed to be, so this is what eventually happened, of course, as you know, because the script didn't get performed until June and didn't get made, released, whatever you want to call it, till July, although it wasn't actually released on the internet till about October, I think, or September. And, back at Eton. My dear boy, you're dressed for Eton. Oh, that's good, because we haven't eaten on the train here. Yeah, that's Jump at Oxford, a great film, unlike this. So anyway, I was on about David Cameron, and that was, and Stewart was Sergeant Watson, the policeman. But if, in the highly unlikely event, Gordon Brown had reclaimed his throne, or seat in the Commons, or whatever you want to call it, is he still MP for? He is. Wow. No if there was any justice in the world, he'd lose his job. Nick Clegg would be stuck in the bog. Oh, no, as I was saying, Gordon Brown. And so Stewart's nearing build to Gordon Brown. Well, he was at the time, because now he's lost a shitload of weight, and he looks completely different. And I mean, like, completely different. Better, like? That's terrible. Terrible sign there, Brain State Romeo HQ. This is a funny scene if you kind of look past the crap camera work, static. Gordon Brown... Gordon Brown would have been portrayed by Stuart Dixon, and therefore I would have had to have played... This is Burton Sparkler, because I'm Burton Sparkler. Would have to have been played by me, Sergeant Watson. Would have to be played by me. And instead of Rutter and Clive People being the policeman, in order to facilitate all the hoo-ha and changing castings, it would be me as Ben Home, and James as well, the James character from Pushing Up Daisies, doesn't actually have a last name, but I think it's Atkinson, but it's assumed, but maybe wrong. Anyhow. This is filmed up at Colton Church Hall, which is the local church hall, which is rather odd. But I think this is the most bizarre thing that's happened up there. Apart from the orgy that happened a few years ago. Right, now we're back to the actual plot, because Ed and Ted appear for the first time. Probably if I was making this as a sitcom, it would make a lot more sense if Ed and Ted were the two people hired by Sergeant Watson to act as policemen. Make a lot more sense, but then again, I'm Adam Atkinson and a fucking pillock. So, here they're playing Risk, and the idea behind this film, as I've just writted over and ruined, is that it's, Basingstoke has declared war on...
Yes, I'm just an appendix.
Basingstoke has declared war upon Great Britain because it insulted David Cameron. Fred Howdy was drunk at the time, which is stupid, really. But the idea behind this, basically, as James pointed out, I didn't know this at the time, but a couple of years later, James actually pointed out that it's very similar to the Simpsons episode about Prohibition, where they bring up an old law and all this rubbish just so that they can do Prohibition but in the same era and not have to go to some flashback episode or some rubbish. So this one, it's basically, that's the hackneyed, cliched plot to kind of make us do air raid wardens, which is Civilian Air Raid Patrolman, I think the CARP stands for, not the fish. Me playing Chief Warden Billington, not looking any different from me, the most unversatile actor in the world. If anyone wants to pick me up for a talent agent, I think you should go and seriously consider your career if you think I'm good. This was the hardest scene to film of the whole lot, apart from the early Jack and Stewart scene in the ante-room, which was just terrible. Ed and Ted run an ice cream van apparently in this one, which is on. It was actually this series that I really made it, and I thought this is like just terrible. And at one point I thought, that's it, I'm not making another film again. And many people thought, thank God, but sadly I decided I'd make some more. You can decide yourself whether that was a good idea or not, but anyway, it's not this film. This film's fine. It's I haven't watched it that often, to be honest, because I find it uncomfortable just remembering the filming of it. But this film's fine. It's like watchable, good average film, not harming anybody. So you know, not a waste of anybody's 20 minutes or whatever the hell length it is. Probably more than 20 minutes, knowing our crap lengths. But this is a fun scene. I'm pulling the newspaper out of James at a corpse in the whole way through. All these films are filmed round our house or up in the institute, so all the sets look the same, so it's just utter shit, really. Kick up the arse there, good silent comedy gag. I'm a big fan of like silent comedy, so that's why a lot of these slapstick, but probably should focus more on that instead of wordplay, because I just can't write well. Now I've for some reason lapsed into a Cockney accent, what a load of rubbish. Right, this is meant to be as night, but it's bright, broad daylight, so it's just rubbish again. Ed's usual happy-go-lucky self, unlike the person playing him. Anyway. Music in the background is Cherokee by Charlie Barnett, which I credit as The Blue Room by Chick Webb, because I'm an idiot. This is basically based on, I've never seen the film, so I can't say you've ripped anything off of it, unlike everything else I've ever done, because the simple fact that it's based on the idea of the 1940s war film starring LaurelundHardy at the worst was, well, not the worst, because the worst film was Utopia or Atoll K or Atoll H. Yeah, that joke that I just said was the level of humour was in that. Now, Air Raid Wardens, which is made, and it had Edgar Kennedy back in it, and it should have been a good film, but it just wasn't, apparently, because as I said, I haven't seen it, but unlike my brother, I don't just make judgments on what critics have said and make judgments and tell people not to watch films, having not watched it myself. So, if you want to watch it, watch it. If you don't, fine. Don't bother me. Live your life how you want to, that's what I say. Don't worry, be happy. Bit of racism there for you. There's Dad there gurning his way through another scene. He's a good sport, his dad. Like, he's good in scenes like this, but we usually film stuff, our scenes first for just me and James, then usually Dad's scenes next, just anything with Dad in, so it's usually written so it's just with me and James in, but sometimes he's in the same scene as Jack and Stuart, but of course we have to do through close-ups and body doubles, which you can judge for yourself if the effect works well. Personally, I think it sometimes does, but the lighting's not right. But we don't have any grants, we don't get any support from anybody, we don't spend any money on these films. The fact that they look the way they do is just, you gotta take it as it is. I'm not wanting it to be compared to Citizen Kane, I'm not wanting it to be compared to bloody Chucklevision either. But you can't then say, oh, this is shit, because if it is, it's only because it hasn't got any bloody backing.